Ever feel like your to-do list is like, I don't know, out to get you?
Yeah.
Like it's this monster under the bed, and every time you think you've shrunk it down, it comes back twice the size.
That's a pretty vivid image, and I'm guessing a lot of people can relate to that feeling of being overwhelmed by their to-dos.
Oh, for sure. But what if I told you there's this technique, right? And it's like a secret weapon for taming that to-do list monster.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What's the secret weapon?
Well, it involves timers and tomatoes.
Tomatoes. You've officially piqued my curiosity now.
All right. I'll spill the tea, or should I say the tomato juice. We're diving into the Pomodoro Technique today.
Ah, the Pomodoro Technique, classic productivity system. And yeah, I see where the tomato comes in those little kitchen timers.
Exactly. Apparently, the guy who invented this whole thing, Francesco Cirillo, used one back when he was a student. Talk about turning procrastination into productivity.
Well, and that's what's so clever about it, right? It's not about adding more hours to the day or magically becoming a superhuman worker bee. It's about changing your approach to the work you already have.
So instead of fighting against distractions, we're embracing them. Is
Right.
that what the Pomodoro Technique is all about?
Sort of. See, our brains aren't really wired for hours of continuous focus. Think about it. How long can you actually concentrate before you're like checking your phone or suddenly needing a snack?
Oh, you're talking to the queen of snack breaks over here. My focus is definitely more like, ooh, shiny object, than laser-like concentration.
Exactly. And that's where the Pomodoro technique comes in. It works with those natural peaks and valleys in our attention span instead of against them. So picture this. Okay. You got your timer set for like a solid 25 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Phone's gone banished to another room. Like maybe even better, turn it off completely.
Oh, wow. Okay. Hardcore, but I like it.
Yeah. And in those 25 minutes, it's just you and whatever task you're tackling, pure uninterrupted focus.
Okay, I'll admit that does sound kind of nice. Actually, almost peaceful. But, like, what happens when that timer goes off? Because I don't know about you, but I'm kind of picturing like a mental sigh of relief, maybe even a little victory dance.
And that's the beauty of it, those bursts of accomplishment. They're built right in because you've earned a break 5 whole minutes just for you.
5 minutes to recharge. All right.
Okay.
I can get on board with that. But this isn't one of those, like push yourself to the limit, work harder, not smarter kind of things, is it?
Not at all. In fact, this is where the Pomodoro technique, it goes beyond just a simple timer hack. It actually taps into something really fascinating about how our brains work.
Ooh. Okay, tell me more.
So those breaks, those 5-minute pauses, they're not just about avoiding burnout, though. That is important.
Right, of course.
They're actually key to like unlocking creativity and reducing stress.
Hold on. Are you saying I do my best thinking when I'm not working?
Yeah.
How does that work?
It's not magic, I promise. Although it can feel like it sometimes. You remember those natural peaks and valleys in our focus we were talking about? Well, turns out that downtime, the times when we're not directly focused on a task, that's when our brains do some of their most creative work. It's like, when you step away from a problem and then suddenly the solution just hits you while you're doing the dishes or something.
Oh, yeah, totally. I've had that happen with like song lyrics or even just remembering where I put my keys.
Exactly. It's those aha moments. And sometimes you need to give your brain a little breathing room, let it wander a bit to make those connections.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right.
So we're talking about structured 5-minute breaks here, not like week-long vacations, right?
Right, exactly. We're not talking about checking out completely. But those short intentional pauses, they're like hitting the reset button on your focus.
Mhm.
They clear out the mental clutter, reduce stress, and that creates the space for those aha moments to bubble up.
So it's like giving your brain a quick power nap.
Yeah, I like it. So it's not just about powering through work, it's about working smarter. But I have to ask, is there like any actual science behind this? Because it almost sounds too good to be true. It can't just be anecdotal, right? Like, surely there's some actual research out there backing up these claims about the power of taking a break.
Oh, you better believe it. There's a whole field of study called intermittence that looks at this very thing. And researchers are finding that taking short breaks, even just a few minutes, can have a big impact on how well our brains work.
So we're talking like actual measurable improvements in memory focus, things like that.
Absolutely. Studies have shown that these short breaks can help us remember things better. They can help us concentrate for longer, and they can even make us better at coming up with creative solutions to problems. It's like giving your brain a little workout, making those cognitive muscles stronger.
Okay, so those 5-minute breaks aren't just an excuse to grab more coffee or scroll through social media. We're talking about a secret weapon for a better brain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got it. So we've talked a lot about the benefits of the Pomodoro technique, but Are there any downsides, any like Pomodoro pitfalls that people should watch out for?
That's a really good question. And yeah, there are definitely a few common stumbling blocks that people trip over.
Like what?
Well, one of the biggest ones is that people underestimate the importance of those breaks, especially the longer ones, the ones you take after every 4 Pomodoros.
Right, the 15 to 30-minute ones.
Exactly. Those breaks, they're super important for avoiding burnout. That's when you really want to step away from work, completely take a walk, listen to music, meditate, whatever helps you unwind and recharge.
So it's all about finding that balance
Right.
and the intense focus during those Pomodoros and then the intentional disconnection during those breaks.
You got it. That's the key.
Now, before we wrap up, I'm curious, is there anyone this technique might not work for? I mean, we're all about figuring out what works best for you.
That's a really important point, and you're right. The Pomodoro technique, it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. For example, if your job involves a lot of collaboration or real-time interaction with others, it might be tough to stick to those strict time blocks.
Right, you don't want to be in the middle of a brainstorming session and suddenly say, hold on, everyone, my timer just went off.
Exactly. And some people, they find that their creative flow just doesn't fit into neat little 25-minute chunks. So the key is to be flexible, experiment a bit, and see what works best for you. Maybe you need longer work intervals, or maybe you need shorter, more frequent breaks. The beauty of the Pomodoro technique is that it's really adaptable.
I love that. It's all about finding your own rhythm, your own productivity groove. So as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of Pomodoros, remember this. You have the power to take control of your focus. Conquer those to-do lists and unleash your most productive self. All it takes is one 25-minute burst at a time. And hey, if you discover your own productivity secret weapon along the way, we want to hear about it.